Hi, I'm Debbie Parks Russ. Glad you guys could make it tonight. We're going to do a zombie makeup. So we're going to start with P18 Death Straw. Yeah, I was going to use Death Flesh, sorry, P19, but the P19 didn't come in, so we're going to use Death Straw, which works really well too because that's sickening, yucky yellow color. And we're going to use an LF latex sponge, and we're going to spread it on face. And just spreading it all over. Okay, look up. And this is highly pigmented, so you don't really have to use too much. This is Ben I's product, who's been making makeup since the 1950s, a professional line. Can you move your hair? How do you? That way I don't turn your hair more yellow. Okay, close your eye. Make sure you do the lips too. It's important. You don't forget anything. Okay, and don't forget the neck. All right, when you're done rubbing it on with your latex sponge, pat it out so you get rid of all your streaks. You don't have any globs that way. Of course, not that a zombie's going to care if he has globs, but you know, if you do an actual good theater makeup, you might not want globs. All right, so now we got that on, and latexed. I'm going to use the latex sponge for that. We're going to put latex on his nose so it can dry before I get to splitting it. I'll split your nose, okay? Wait a minute, I forgot something. Under your eye on the other side. Look up. Look up. There we go. Okay, close. All right, this is Liquid Latex LL. This is for making wounds and scars and owies and broken arms and all kinds of stuff. It's going to smell like ammonia, so it won't be real pleasant. Okay, while that dries, we're going to stipple him up. So we're going to use a stipple sponge, which is a porous sponge. It's an NS. There's a fine pore and a not so dense one. This one's the one that's not so dense, and it gives you variegated color so that you don't have a wad of color like all in one place. Like this one, we wanted the LL latex sponge, and this one we want the NS stipple sponge. I'm going to start with the Zombie Wheel by Ben I. And I'm going to use CL25, which is the steel gray inside there. Okay, look up. And as you notice, I'm referring to a picture. It's good to draw yourself a color picture if you're doing somebody else. If you're doing yourself, you can play in the mirror and just do it. But when you're doing someone else, you might want to have a kind of a map to go by. Now I'm going to use, let's see, FX7, the navy, the midnight violet actually, but it looks like, not yet. Well, you don't want to be uneven? You don't want to be a zombie on one side? Actually, there wasn't much on this side to do. Why don't you go ahead and move your hair a little bit? Okay, look at me. You're not dead yet. You're only partly dead. All right, so now let's do this one. All right, so this is the midnight violet. Okay, turn your head that way. See how it's stippled? Gives that variegated look. Okay, now we're going to use FX32 because I don't, let me check the latex and see if it's dry. It's almost dry. Hey, I think it is dry. Does it feel dry? All right, so what I'm going to do, after I take my sweater off, I'm going to split it. See, it's like surgery. So that's why you had to take your sweater off. All right, turn to me. What you're doing is trying to pull it apart and trying to get a piece. You wanted your nose waxed, right? So you want to get a piece and you want to split it open. Now you want to watch how far you get to your edges. You don't want to get too close to you didn't want that nose, did you? Yeah? You don't want to get too close to your edge because you'll pull it right off. It's hard to see details on that. Okay. Sounds weird too. Pretty resilient. It doesn't like to necessarily split. It doesn't want to go that last bit. Want a little bit bigger nose hole. Okay. That looks good. All right. So there's a red that I really like that's not in the zombie wheel, and if it's in the CK3 Cuts and Brews wheel, and I'm going to use a flat brush, and it is called Blood Red, and I'm going to put it inside the wound hole so that when I put blood on it and stuff, I don't have to make a giant mess. You just want to paint in there. That's all you want to do. A V on your nose. Okay, I'm going to put that in my brush cleaner, which this is Benai's brush cleaner. And this stuff is great. It's BC, and you just put your brush in there and it cleans it all nice and clean. Don't put your brush in your bottle because you'll pollute your whole bottle. You want to Just keep it separate so it can sit there. Now I'm going to go to back to my ZW zombie wheel, and I'm going to do the dried blood, which is FX32. Okay, and then another corner of another, actually I have several stipple sponges here, but you can use just different corners of it. That's what I end up doing, is using different corners. Okay, we're going to use the darker, let's see, what number is that one? The darker one is, FX2, the bruise color. Okay, look up. I won't poke you now, I promise. I only poke myself in the eye. I don't usually poke other people in the eye. Now I'm going to use the goldenrod that's in here. This one really likes to get dirty because it's right next to everybody else. So the goldenrod is FX6. That's just going to give us a little bit of highlight in spots. This is a real good bruise color, like when you're healing from a bruise, that color's always there. You see how you get it dirty because you're touching other colors. Like that doesn't even look like I put yellow on it. I think I need another one. Look at me for a minute. Yeah, see, it's only getting the yellow because I've got everything else. There. Found a trick this weekend of cleaning the stipple sponges too. You stick them in your brush cleaner bottle and you just shake it, and it cleaned it really well, because you can try soap and water on this stuff and it just doesn't do it. Let's pick up all those other colors. All right, now we're going to use a sallow green, which is FX11, and I love sallow green. It's nice and disgusting. Okay, look up. Kind of has a sick look to it when you do it in combination with other things. Okay, so I'm going to blend that together so that it's not quite so, I guess, say bright, I guess. Kind of blend your colors together so you can fade into each other. You don't want to smear it too much. Okay, close your eye. Did I get you? A little? Getting the exfoliation with the sponge, see? Okay, let me see. No, you're not dead yet. Okay, look at me all the way. I want a little bit more bruising on his nose owie. Okay, now what I want to do is powder him. You use a setting powder for your face so that your makeup becomes matte finished, and it also has an antiperspirant in it. And it also keeps it on you, not all over your partner if you're dancing or going to a Halloween party. I chose to use ash powder, which is a kind of a sick color, and it's AP ash powder. And you want to pack your powder puff, which you just sprinkle it on there. Rub it in like this. Because you don't want it all clumpy, you just kind of want to set it. All right, close your eyes. So what I'm going to do is just pat his face. Fingers work real good when you run out of corners of stipple sponges. All right, now we're going to use some thick blood. Thick blood, well, wait, do I want to, no, I think I want to do this other part first. My thick blood looks like I've used it quite a bit. This is TB thick blood. This one's a little newer. Thick blood stays right where you put it. It's kind of gooey. And you can turn it upside down. You put it on your knives and on your body, and it'll stay actually moist and wet looking. Kind of like these worm appliances that we made. And the worm appliance instructions will be also on one of the YouTube videos of how to make these guys. Our biggest challenge was that worms come in nice, ugly fluorescent colors now and don't look like earthworms. So the challenge was to cover it up. And we also still wanted to be able to eat it in case we wanted to gross everybody out, because that's half the fun. Let's put that on, these worms on, and then we can put some thick blood on top of that. This is prosthetic adhesive, AD. This is stronger than spirit gum. Spirit gum is made for putting on appliances like this and for mustaches, eyebrows, sideburns, other things like that too. But the prosthetic adhesive is a little stronger, especially if you are an actor and you sweat a lot under stage lights. Then the prosthetic adhesive is going to work better for you. What you want to do is, it's going to take a minute to dry, so you want to decide where on your face it's going to go. And I want it where if a worm was coming through your face, it's not going to come through your cheekbone as well, but it's going to come through the fleshy part here and up to maybe above. So I want to decide where it's going to go. And then I'm going to paint that area with the Well, we'll make the other side match real soon. Okay, you also want to gonna paint your backside of your appliance. Now when you use spirit gum, this is not what you do. You only put it on your skin and not the backside of either your mustache, your appliance, sideburns. But remember this, if you get it into your hair, either spirit gum or prosthetic adhesive, you're not going to have hair in that spot. It's going to pull it out so you can wax your legs with this stuff. In other words, I hate to tell you, but I got a little bit right here. You didn't want that sideburn, right? You want me to throw this at him? Okay, that's going to sit there and dry. You figure out where the other side's going to go. Okay, and on plants. I didn't have to use it on the liquid latex, but you can use a blow dryer to get your liquid latex dry. I've not used a blow dryer to get my prosthetic adhesive drier faster. Suppose we could try it. You never know. Until you try it, you never know. So when that's not shiny, that'll be dry. Ready to put the next layer on. So while those are drying, we're going to play with our thick blood. And I usually use a popsicle stick with my TB thick blood. Now as this warms, it even sticks better. But this stuff will stay. Well, like it doesn't want to stick right there. Yeah. Come on, warm up, blood. It's not gooey. It's obviously not gooey enough. You make the best faces when I put this stuff on you. Okay, I'm going to let that warm up a little bit. Put a little on the other side. Now, if you really want to do a great big owie, you could have pulled the latex open more and put cotton balls underneath it and then soak it with this other blood that I'm going to show you, which is a stage blood. Okay, look at that. Doesn't really matter where this goes. He's a zombie. He's going to have issues all over him. It's like worse than The Walking Dead. Got a mess. Okay, these aren't quite dry yet, so we're going to play with a new blood that Ben I just made, which is called dark blood. I don't like pink blood. I like nice, nasty, dark blood. So this is thick blood. It's DSB. And we're going to watch it run down his face. Now, most of the Ben I bloods taste like mint. So it's fun to eat your wounds in front of your friends. I think you should have that wound on your nose looked at. Sorry. See how that runs down his head? I love it. We're like gross. Okay. Now we're going to glue the appliances on.